Hi everyone. As you can see, it's Halloween time. I just wanted to give a little update since the last one. And the last thing that happened was on October 17th, I had my 5th dilation. And since then, the last time I said that I wasn't getting a lot of support. And so I had my dilation on the 17th. And the week prior to that, I met with my oncologist, and they set up an appointment for me for colorectal surgery through their team. They also connected me with a pelvic pain specialist, a gynecologist pelvic pain specialist. And so on the 17th, I had my dilation. On the 19th, I met with the colorectal surgeon, and with him, he was very reluctant to, do any kind of surgery, which I was agreeable with. He said there would be too much scar tissue. Surgeries would have to be done in phases, creating more scar tissue. So his suggestion was to do insoluble fiber and bulk up the stool, use your own stool as a constant dilation. So bulk the stool to keep the dilation open. And I was previously told to keep my stool loose and to, not irritate the dilation. And so when I was keeping my stool loose, I was incontinent. I was incontinent of stool. I was wearing Depends. I was wearing incontinence pads. I was going to the bathroom, 10 plus times a day, liquid stool, rushing to the bathroom. I could, go to the bathroom, go to my doctor 10 minutes away, soil myself on the way to the doctor. I had tenesmus, which is your body thinks that there is stool that needs to be evacuated, and involuntary contractions of your rectum to try and evacuate the stool. I wouldn't want to push. My body starts pushing. You soil yourself in the process. If you try to stop that process, you end up urinating on yourself because of the pushing. It was just sad and frustrating and depressing. Had to seek extra treatment for depression through my general practitioner, and it was really great because this surgeon was telling me to use nutrition to help myself, and so he told me to do that. And so he told me to use Metamucil, which is basically psyllium husk. He told me to use the sugar-free kind, and so that's what I did, just because. And they are orange flavored, but it's not real orange. I am on a medication that you're not supposed to use orange or grapefruit, but it's orange flavored. It's not real orange. So I used the stevia sweetened Metamucil. And within about 3 days, I started having normal bowel movements for the first time, probably in 2 years. Normal size, normal shape. Well, when I say size, I mean width. Within about 3 days, I started having normal width. And then they started getting longer from there. I hadn't had that in like a couple years. And that was incredible. And no straining and no, little to no pain. The pain started dissipating over time. And some pain here or there, sometimes Tylenol, rarely using tramadol, anything like that. So all this time I was told to be softening, and I actually needed to be bulking. So just a different opinion and a different outcome. And then, so that was on the 19th. I saw the colorectal surgeon. On the 20th, I was able to get into the pelvic pain specialist. and he changed my nerve medication. I was on gabapentin. I started having these extra movements, like when I would be typing on my phone, I'd start having like twitches, like my hands were twitching, and just like I was having these like jerking movements because it is a nerve medication. So my GP actually took me off of that medication the week before my last dilation on the 17th. He's like, yeah, that's not, you don't want to be, then you don't need to be on that medication. So I had actually been taken off of the medication, and then the pelvic pain doctor put me on something called Topamax. There is a generic name for that. It's Topa something. I don't know what it is, but it's Topamax is what I call it, and the starting dose was 50. I think it's milligrams twice a day, so about 12 hours apart. And I initially started feeling a lot better, like significant reduction in pain. And I was just like, what? So for me, like bulking up my stool and being on that different nerve medication helped right away. The pelvic pain doctor also just flew through like a ton of like mind body types of ways to help myself. Like, for example, I had never even knew this was a thing, but a gastrointestinal psychologist. So someone that is going to help you with your mind, help your pain. So there is an example of something like that that might be more common knowledge. Maybe you don't even know about this, but so for example, like there is something called phantom limb syndrome, where say someone gets an amputation, say they're cut off above the knee, so say like from their thigh down, on their right leg, they have no knee, they have no right knee, they have no right foot. But for some reason, their brain is sensing right foot pain. They don't have a right foot, but their brain is sensing it and they're feeling it and they feel the pain. It's they're feeling it. So there are some kind of techniques that they can put a mirror between their legs, so they're between their thighs, and they can look at the mirror, and the mirror is, they can see their left leg totally, and then look in the mirror is actually like imaging a right leg, and they can see, a right leg and a right foot, and there's nothing wrong with it, and then they can start to like reduce the pain in the right foot, and they start to like make neural pathways to reduce the pain. So that's like a mind-body way, non-medicated way of retraining the brain to retrain those pain pathways. And over time, you can stop having the pain, or at least have a tool to get you out of the pain. It's not exactly the same, but it's a very similar type of process where you can work with a psychologist. The pelvic pain doctor also said that some physical therapists and occupational therapists are trained in these kind of techniques. He gave me names. He gave me several names of practitioners that I can try and get on their schedule to try and help my mind-body connection with the pain, because I've been in this pain for 2+ years, and my mind-body connection just might be oversensitive to, like, if something's there, this is going to be pain, so he gave me that. He gave me books, he gave me apps, he gave me free resources, he gave me group therapies, he gave me so many different ways to attack this pain. And I was just floored and really appreciative of all the different resources that he gave me. I was overwhelmed when I walked out, and granted, I still had just underwent the procedure, so I wasn't feeling well. I was overwhelmed. I wasn't really sure what I thought of it. It took me several days. Additionally, like, I had been dealing with a bunch of nausea. I don't know where the nausea came from. It wasn't from the medication switch or anything like that. I have no idea where it came from. It could have been from the procedure. It could have just been nausea. I don't know what it was, but it lasted for quite some time. And so I was having trouble recuperating from the last dilation, and I just basically was up in my room all day, every day, just not social in my room, just watching TV. I use ginger for nausea, so I was just like, I have these little candies called gingins. They're kind of like taffy, and I just was like eating those and trying to like calm my nausea down. And it does work, but I have to eat a lot of them to make it work, especially with this nausea. It was probably some of the more intense nausea that I had had, other than with chemotherapy. And with chemo, sometimes the only thing that would help would be those, nausea medications, sometimes a couple of them. But that was all I had with this nausea. But once the nausea lifted, it was, I mean, this pain has been pretty manageable, and the stool is firm, and now it's like the right size, the right length, and the insoluble fiber is working. And I sometimes still take some Tylenol, like rarely. Today, unfortunately, I had to take some tramadol, not quite feeling well. Um, but, when I went in for that last dilation, they did take some biopsies. They took biopsies of my colon, they took biopsies of the stricture, they took biopsies of my rectum. They have taken them before, and everything always came back normal. This time they found rectal inflammation. So I have rectal inflammation. The medical term is called proctitis. That's itis is inflammation, proct is the rectum. So it's inflammation of the rectum, and I'm awaiting treatment for that. I got the results on Tuesday. I reached out to my doctor asking for the treatment. They didn't respond. This is what I do not like about my current team. I don't get prompt responses. They were telling me keep it soft, and this insoluble fiber is working better, and I'm not super thrilled with the care that I'm getting as far as like my general doctors. So I followed up on Friday with a phone call, hoping not to go through the weekend like this, because even before the fifth dilation, what I was telling them was I feel like I'm kind of like excreting my own body, like my own body is trying to push itself out. It wasn't even stool, like I'm straining to like push my body out. And that makes sense because the rectum is swollen, so it's trying to push something out, which it's trying to push itself out. It wasn't even stool. So it's straining and straining to push nothing out, it's itself. And since that last dilation, I've had that feeling like sometimes I feel that swelling in the rectum and sometimes I don't. For once the stool started getting more bulk and larger in size and length, the swelling actually went down. And I also, from the colorectal surgeon, in some of the literature and that he gave me, was like, if you have any food sensitivities, take that stuff out. So I decided to go gluten and dairy free again. I noticed that the swelling started to go down in the proctitis. And then just a couple of days ago, my neighbor, who's a very giving person, gave us some crumble cookies. And I was like, well, I'm just going to try a couple little like bites because it looked really good. And the next day I had some major swelling. I felt it. And I've kind of been swollen since. So who knows? Like maybe it was the sugar, maybe it was the gluten, because I don't eat a lot of sugar unless it's usually gluten. So they kind of go together when I eat them. So who knows? Maybe it was gluten, maybe it was sugar, maybe it was both. Um, Usually with inflammation, there's something growing there. And what feeds things that grow is sugar. So who really knows what's causing the inflammation? I don't know. No one's no one's followed up with me. I just know that I got the results. So yeah, a little bit of frustration on that end. Um, so anyway, I'm 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 cautiously optimistic that things are moving in the right direction. In the past, sometimes it could take about 3 weeks and then things start to regress and then I'm back in pain, etc. But now I have a different treatment plan, and so we'll see. Time will tell what's going to happen in the long run, but I have not worn any incontinence anything. I'm just in my regular underwear um, for several days now. Not quite a week, but maybe about 5 days. I was like, nope, I am not going to have any kind of accidents. I know that I won't. I can make it to the bathroom. I still, on occasion, get, like stopped in my tracks with a little bit of pain or something like that, but not as frequent. I feel okay. I have energy, and um, I'm just cautiously optimistic, and I'll take it. Like I feel okay. And so I felt okay enough today to, get to, my gym. My gym was, having a Halloween gathering for a few hours. And so I threw something together and went there to hang out and say hi. And I really did throw this together. This is an old wig I've had since like 2008, used it several times. And I bought this. All I had was this, and I have a tail that went with it. I'm a unicorn. Weird things happen to me. Odd things happen to me. So I still going with the unicorn theme, but I'm a dark unicorn. And so I was like, okay. So this morning, I I took someone with me to the gym, and I'm like, hey, how much longer is it gonna take you to get ready? And they were like 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to Target, and I'm gonna just buy some makeup real quick and get ready. And so this is what I came up with, and it's all like eyeshadow, and they actually did have black lipstick, which I was like, okay, it's like I'll make it work, and threw it all together. So not a whole lot of effort, but in an all black outfit. So I'm super excited about it, and yeah, so I, was able to throw my, but I was at the little Halloween party, and I was like, man, I'm just feeling like really uncomfortable. The Tylenol is not cutting it, and I really kind of wanted to go home, unfortunately, and so I went home and I took some tramadol, unfortunately, but it's there if I need it, and I needed it, so at least I have it, if I need it, and I can still, be functional. And one of my best friends and their husband is having a 40th birthday costume party tonight. And so, I'll go to that. We'll see how long I can last. Starts at about 5:30. We'll see how long I last. Sometimes I get around people and I can't last that long. Just depends on how my body holds up. We'll see. If the tramadol is working, then maybe I'll last a little longer. And whatever, as long as I get to see them and hug them and wish them a happy birthday, then that's all that really matters to me. Um, just to get around them, and they're my best friends, so I really would like to see them. I can't get around a lot of people. I haven't been able to leave the house that much with all of the incontinence, and hadn't been able to even walk or, go anywhere. So I really do look forward to just being able to drive. Sitting has been difficult, like just sitting. It's been really, 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 really rough. Like I said, went through increased depression and had to get some extra help for it. So, if you're going through anything like strictures and dilations and, incontinence and all of that, like just, get help for it. Keep trying. Take care of yourself. Get the mental health help. Um, get opinions, second opinions. Not one doctor has all of the answers. Go on the internet and see who else could help you. And I said colorectal surgery to my gastroenterology team, and they were like, I don't know about that. And then I go to my gyn-oncology team, and they're like, colorectal surgery. I'm like, that's what I said. So, they don't all have all the answers. And if you have some kind of gut feeling, just go for it. Just go for it, and just keep trying and get people that are going to back you and that are going to support you. That includes your friends, your family, and your physicians. Get people that are gonna back you. My oncologist was backing me. He's like, you didn't go through all of this to have this problem. You went through the hard part and now you got this. No, like, you're gonna get through this. And I'm like, thank you, because I feel hopeless. I was hopeless. I was starting to get to that point and I didn't know what to do. And then when I went to that gyn-oncology appointment, they were like, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I was like a shell of a human being, because I hadn't slept in a few days because I was in so much pain and going to the bathroom all night. And just, I didn't mean to be a shell of a person. I didn't want to be that way. It's just, remember this, when you see people and you're like, what's wrong with them? And you're judging them, it could be this. You know me personally, that's not how I am. That's not who I want to be. They might be doing their absolute best that day. And I was when I walked into my appointment. I hadn't slept. Just try to remember that. Like, people are going through stuff. Just try to remember that. Don't judge them. They could be trying. It has nothing to do, they're not trying to be mean to you or rude to you, or, even if they're edgy or rude or whatever, it's like, they're not probably trying to be that way. It's just how it's coming out. They're probably struggling, just find some kindness for their struggle. And it's not personal. Don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. All right, that's my word of the day. I'm a dark unicorn because it's Halloween. Everybody take care, and I hope you find the spirit in the holiday. Bye, guys.